Okay, so it is time for those discovery questions, and I've already recorded a really good video about discovery questions, and I include that in my Grow Your Agency with BoomerangMe course that I offer through my YouTube channel. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right over to that video because I did a good job being pretty darn toot and succinct. And then also I'm going to be attaching a resource for you and walking you through that resource in this video. So let me know what you think.
We've done so much work to warming up this prospect and client. And now it's time to actually share it with them, what it is that we bring to the table. How can we help them? But we don't want to mess that up by just walking in the door, sitting down, flipping open our computer screens, and just sharing how we're going to solve all their hopes and dreams and problems, right? And why is that? Because we don't know where it hurts yet. Right? If you went to the doctor and without, the doctor has all these amazing tools, this knowledge base of ways that they can help you and make you feel better. But if you walk into that doctor's appointment and they have not asked you, where does it hurt? But instead they have all these solutions. They just want to give you medicine, or they just want you to do all these special exercises or to alter your diet in some way. And this is going to heal you, but they've never asked what hurts. They could have the best medicine in the whole world, the most amazing treatments, and it may actually help you. But on the other side of that, as the patient, how would you be feeling? You'd be like, but I haven't even told you what my problem is. Like you don't know. Why are you assuming? Right? You would be like, you nuts. I'm going to a different doctor. Well, your prospect's the same exact way. So the way that we handle this is that we ask discovery questions. So I'm going to share with you some discovery questions. I'm actually going to provide this as a downloadable PDF so that you can change it and make some adjustments, but I'm going to step you through the process of coming up with some great discovery questions. And let's go ahead and go over to that. So let's go ahead and take a look at this document together. There are 3 pages here, and on each section, I have discussing different items. So what is a discovery questions, or what is a discovery meeting? Sometimes larger agencies, if you're offering a lot of services, for example, if you are a full-blown full service agency, you may, instead of having a pitch meeting, have it just it's called a discovery meeting, right? Where it's just you learning about what their needs are. If you have a smaller niche of services, and you have more like a one size fits all kind of a service, then you may be like me, where you can go ahead and have your discovery and ask your discovery questions, but then seamlessly move into a solution for those. But you definitely want to pause before you ever start in on your solutions to discuss and find out what is their problems, what are their pain points, to see if you're even a good fit for them. So that is what your discovery questions are going to do. So right here at the top are some basic tips for you to familiarize yourself with the process of a discovery meeting and holding that meeting. So this is by the way, this is a very easy way to transition from, you just walked into the small business and they're expecting the meeting, but it's got that, how do you transition from small talk, because you just got there, to pitching, right? So the discovery questions are actually a great transition tool as well between those two things, so that it doesn't feel as stark. Remember, you worked really hard to make and create a very warm environment. So you don't want to get in there and all of a sudden just start selling to them and make that environment cold. You've worked too hard for that. So let's keep the environment very warm. And these discovery questions are definitely going to help you do that. So you want to make sure you prioritize the pre-meeting. Okay. So you got to do a little research before you get in there. And, a lot of our swiping left and swiping right was that research. So before that meeting, go ahead and remind yourself about the prospect's business. Does their website look like, and their social media pages, and what types of items do they have as services or menu items? Familiarize yourself with that business so that you can come in knowing a little bit about them. And you're going to find that that's very useful in our conversation, because then, in my case, I reference their menu a lot. So you can actually reference their different services they offer, their menu items, their events that they hold regularly in that conversation. And now you are going to stand out so much more than any other salesman in there that does not do their research ahead of time. This really sets you apart. So don't skip that step. Make sure you do your research before you get there. Also, you want to focus on open-ended questions. These are impactful, very strategic questions. They're not just your average questions. These are questions with value. So when you ask questions, I had to really practice this. So be mindful of your own personality and whether or not open-ended questions come naturally to you. It really took me a lot of practice on how to ask open-ended questions. It was actually very insightful. So make sure that the questions that you're asking, what does an open-ended question mean? An open-ended question means that the questions you're asking cannot be answered with a yes or no or a maybe. I like to pause to like really drive home a point. An open-ended question has to be answered with like at the very minimum several sentences to a paragraph or maybe more. It gets them thinking. It's the difference between asking, do you think this would help you? That would be close-ended questions, right? What ways do you feel like this would serve your business? Well, that's a very open-ended question, right? I can't answer that question with a yes or a no. So practice asking those questions. What are practice closed ones? Identify them. Maybe you're like me and you really struggle with that. So, I had to kind of sit down and ask myself some questions and then be the person on the other side answering them. Oh crap! I can answer that with a no. I can answer that with a yes or a maybe. How can I reword that? I had to really put a lot of effort into my discovery questions in order to train myself and practice that skill set. Others of you, you're going to have this be a natural talent. So, yay if that's you. But I want to make sure I identify that this may not come naturally to you. If you have a natural tendency to be more of a teacher type of person, then this would be more of your skill set. If you are not, this may be a little bit of a work for you. So, then you want to limit the number of questions you ask. So, the questions and the value of each question is important that we ask the best ones, right? So you only want to ask between 3 and 5 well-chosen questions to keep the conversation really focused on the direction that you want to take them and on the path that you want to take them. And the questions that you're going to be asking, of course, are going to help the customer, the person you're pursuing and you're asking the questions, is going to help them tell you what pains they have. So, and then of course, we're tailoring this to be, well, if you've got that pain, I've got the solution for it. And so I'm going to ask that question so that I already know I've got the solution to the problem. Okay. But we want them to think about their own pain. Where does it hurt? And we want them to think about the impact of that pain on their lives, on their business, on their bodies, all of it. So that's why that is very important. So really this discovery question section should only take maybe 10 minutes. Even less would be okay too. You don't want this to stretch on because you want to have at least 10 minutes for your own pitch meeting and then questions and answers afterwards. Okay, so that's the tip section. I went ahead and I outlined several discovery question ideas. So I broke them down. So this is going to get you started on maybe identifying, well, which ones based on the services I laid out that I want to provide. Some of these questions are going to help you to identify those pain points better than others. So I didn't give a copy cut discovery questions page right here because everybody is providing a different service. So we're going to want to tailor these questions again to help our prospect tell us what pains are specific to them that we have the solution to solve. So choose these questions very strategically. And once you go ahead and do the work to choose these questions, you're going to use them forever. So it's well worth your time to invest and study this a little bit. I do share my favorite questions. So, I've done the legwork of, looking through different discovery questions and thinking through the process. So I've already have mine down. So I do share them with you, but go ahead and make sure that these questions are comfortable for you. Do they pull out those pain points for you based on the services you're going to provide? So the questions that I ask on repeat are, how are you attracting new customers? For me, that's a big one, right? We want to be able to help them to attract those new customers. And then after they share their efforts, if they're sharing that, well, we post to social media, a lot of people might say, well, we do this, so we do that. And some of them might even say about paid advertising and things of that nature. The follow-up then was, how effective have those efforts been for the restaurant or their small business? And of course, the follow-up to that question is, well, how do you measure your ROI? How do you know how many dollars you've actually made from that marketing investment? This question right here is really geared toward people that have actually paid for advertising before. So you may find that the answer to this very first question is, I don't know how. That's not uncommon for me to hear. We don't know how. That's literally where we're stuck. We have no clue how to get the community to realize we exist. Yay, I love to hear that answer. It's my favorite answer. Others are in the middle someplace, and we've got to pull out some pain points as far as really drive so that they tell us really the impact of not getting new customers to come in and how that would impact their restaurant or their business. And then, so if they have made investments in marketing, can they track that? How do you track that? Stuff like that. How are you transitioning your new customers? So this question kind of flows right into my next one. How do you transition your new customers then into your loyal customers? And if you're in the food industry, you're probably going to hear, well, we just serve them really good food and hope they come back. Okay. Okay. Are you currently using any like loyalty programs or like digital marketing tools to kind of encourage them to come back? Yeah, right. And then you're going to get lots of opinions. Then that I love this question because it gets me to get them to talk about really the service I'm about to pitch to them, right? I can really quickly grasp their opinion of loyalty programs with this question. And so I can kind of gauge in that way how to transition and what's missing. So if they say, well, yeah, I've tried that once, but I didn't like it. Or, yeah, we've got these physical punch cards, or, yeah, our POS system has it, things of that nature. You do want to follow up with those questions with, well, what's missing from those? Are they successful? Actually, what I like to ask is first, well, what do you like about those? And then I like to ask, well, what's missing from those? If they don't have anything in place, they have never tried any type of a loyalty program or digital marketing tools, go ahead and ask, well, what's kept you from investing in a loyalty program? Pull that out. And remember that, did you notice how all those questions you cannot answer with a yes or no? This question up here would have been awful if I would have said, a yes or no question, like, have you ever ran ads to get new customers? No. Then it's just like this awkward pause. It's terrible. It's not conversational, and you just got and learned very little. So, asking open-ended questions. So, I hope that this document is helpful for you. I know we want to grow as a group. So, if you have other discovery questions that you find very valuable that are on your favorite questions list, I want to encourage you to share it with the group and let us know what are your favorite questions to ask as a discovery question.
If you would like more information on the BoomerangMe platform and specifically how to excel and launch that as a profitable software as a service or agency business, then I want to connect you with my Grow Your Agency with BoomerangMe. It's free for anybody that uses my affiliate link to sign up for the BoomerangMe. You will receive a 14-day free trial. You can also save 20% off if you do decide to go for the paid version. But you'll automatically receive the Grow Your Agency with BoomerangMe course teaching you my exact process on how I actually land clients consistently from I have no clients at all the way to warming them up and making contact with them, all the way to through the pitch, knowing what to pitch. I share my pitch. I share all my resources that I need in order to get that deal closed, my onboarding procedure, the whole entire thing. We will be able to go from no clients to paid clients and onboarded clients seamlessly. And that is my goal. So if that is interesting to you, I've got links all over my YouTube channel over at Amanda West Grow Your Agency. And it's up in my profile description. It's also down in the description of almost every single video. So feel free to give that a click, and we'll see you guys later.